Hello. Is that on? Yep, that's on. Yeah, how are you guys? This is cool to be doing two in one day, but this is going to be the first time that I do a kind of track deconstruction kind of thing. I've just been sitting here trying to get relevant files together and stuff, and I think it's actually basically yeah, pretty simple. Yeah, so today I released the first single from my new record, which is called Left Hand Man, and it's the album is called Wedding Address. The single is called Left Hand Man. Sorry, I'm just going to get some headphones going here, and I might actually just plug them in down here for today. Okay. Let me know if you're watching. As always, it's great to know that I'm not just on my own here. Let me just do something here. I think if I go to 23 and 24 and I turn this up a bit, I think I'm gonna get, yeah, sweet. Let's just crank that a little bit because I'm a bit deaf. Okay, so why does the chat keep disappearing? Let's see. So yeah, so the song's called Left Hand Man. I think I might just start. I'll just play you through the song from the Pro Tools session. When we recorded this, or I should say when I mixed this, it was mixed through this desk, and just for simplicity's sake this evening, we're not going to be listening to it through the desk. It did change the mix a bit, going through the desk. It sounded a bit kind of wider, a bit more space on stuff, but I think for these purposes it's fine for us just to be listening from the Pro Tools session. Anyway, so here is Left Hand Man from the Pro Tools session.
Another day in Robbie's head. Might sound okay, but it eats me instead. I know I half wrote this before, but it's true. Me, it's self-indulgent, but it's all I know how to do. Selling the cover, but the pages are painted black. Lonely or lover, that's the wonderful life I've had. Not being sarcastic, I've had it luckier than most, I know. Still the scissors need paper, and there's never enough. No, there's never enough. Did this writing on a blue May day, hoping Vincent wouldn't colour the same as me. Might be the blood begins to wet my lung, but every word will be drunk in the end, I promise. There's a lot of bad bacteria in here. Makes it hard to write words, as you can hear. So I just type them out on a laptop thumb. delete, type, delete until it's done. Wishing I was using ink and paper so it would have gravitas or importance, timelessness, like some Beatles lyrics in the British Library. Is tainted with more and more bad bacteria, fear sticking in my eye, doubt plunging down my throat, my gut leaking all over the page. Feel like I'm wearing shades that I can't really see through. That's the only debt I owe. That one was for Alan. Alan who didn't belong. Sailing the cover, pages are painted black.
Cool. So there you go. That's the finished song. Where do I start? Well, I guess where this song started, where all these songs started, are just with a demo, which in this case was this. Originally the song was called Don't Run Away because that was the kind of mumbled lyrics I was singing at the time for the thing. So this is what I started with, which was basically me trying to do this flow writing thing that I do, or that I have done for these last two albums, where I just try and quickly write stuff without getting stuck on anything. Just I set myself up with a microphone and a guitar, a bit like I do on the Robot Report live stream thing, but different because I'm not really not trying to finish anything at all. I'm just recording sketches, and I try and end up with like 10 or 20 or 30 sketches, and then I let them sit for a few days or a week or so, and then I come back to them and I start thinking about which ones I like, and then I don't really do much else other than sometimes I kind of demo them a little bit, but then I'll basically get some musicians in, some friends or people that I work with, who are also friends, and we just start recording, and it was the same with this song. I think this is the original demo. On the verse, all pushed on the chorus. So I just had a rough idea for the melody line. And so, like, obviously, when you come up with something like that, you don't really think too much of it, other than I quite like it. And I remember liking this because it's the same chords all the way through, which for me, because I'm like whatever, because I like overcooking things. My natural inclination is to overdo things, but there was something about this that I liked because it was just the same chords all the way through, and I had two melody lines, one which sounded like a verse and one which really sounded like a chorus, and I was thinking, okay, that could be kind of cool, but I didn't really know much else, didn't really have any other plans, and then I booked a session with some guys to come in, Misha Frommer on drums, Taylor Savvy on bass, Knox Chandler on guitar, and we recorded on tape. We went to just show you here. We recorded on this this Atari 8-track here. What's Nina saying, like? I'm just going to tell her to tune in. Yeah, so we recorded on tape. Sorry. Whoops. And because it's just 8 tracks, it means that very limited with being able to split everything up. And so you can see here what we did. We recorded onto the tape live, and then we recorded off the tape into Pro Tools. Well, actually, it looks like we were just doing it, hitting the tape and then straight into Pro Tools. So just hit the tape into Pro Tools, and I'll just skip through a few of the kind of us like working it out, you know. So this is obviously, this is the very first thing we're doing, and I'm kind of, I guess, teaching everyone the song. I'm still on electric guitar at this point. Knox is working out his stuff. Yeah, everyone's kind of just noodling around. So we tried some fuzz bass for a while. Just keep skipping through, and then maybe you'll hear it kind of evolve into the finished thing. I'm just gonna, yeah, there is this guide vocal actually. which you can hear me bossing everyone around. That's probably interesting. Put a hold on that D so that it all straightens out, and then hit it with the push again for the solo. Yeah, so okay, so I'll play it how I hear it, okay? Yeah, I mean, you can hear we're just sort of messing around. This is me telling everyone the middle eight. Sorry, yeah, just, I mean, yeah, it's pretty boring to listen to this. Then towards the end, it starts coming together. Everyone's parts are kind of coming together. Knox's thing on the guitar's really beautiful. And the thing with working with Knox is that he basically just gets his guitar sound in the amp, you know, like with the reverbs and stuff. Anyway, let's just move on to the finished song now, and I will solo some stuff. So we were recording everyone together in the big room. That camera's not on. You know what the big room looks like. You can hear a bit of drum bleed between the things. So like Knox, for example. You can hear a little bit of the drums in the background. So Knox's amp was in the room. We're all in the room together. Actually, I was in the booth. I was playing on the nylon string. Anyway, so here we go. Here's the drums. So the drums on their own. And I basically just have a little bit of this distressor style compression on the kick, and then on the overheads, a soothe, just to chill it out a little bit on the top end. Looks like a little bit of top end boost afterwards, just like a wide boost, and you know, the boost attenuation trick on these Pultecs, where you're boosting the top end and cutting the top end at the same frequency, and you get a nice sort of like squished top end thing happening. A nice slow compressor bump, and then a little bit of more top end bringing back in again. It's kind of nice sometimes when you cut top end, you boost it again, squish it again, boost it again, cut it again, and you end up with a really nice kind of rich harmonic top end thing happening, where it's sort of like you're kind of like crushing it into itself and stuff. And I don't know, I just like it, but it's a very simple drum sound. Then there's a little bit of reverb, plus 13 and 14. That is That's a bit of Valhalla room on there, which you can hear. We get rid of that. That's the natural room sound. But just with a bit of just a little extra bit of room sound. You can hear the bass bleed coming in. A little bit of compression, a bit of low end boost. See, like cutting the low end here specifically, and then just adding a kind of general sub thing, and then compressing it all to kind of tighten it up. And then we have Knox's beautiful guitar. So Knox is basically, he's figured out his part and he's just kind of freestyling through the song, and yeah, that's basically his thing. And then we have me on the nylon. Which you can hear my guide vocal bleeding into the mic. So then I redid the nylon as an overdub. So now there's like a double tracked nylon basically, which sounds good to me. Anyway, so now we're into the overdubs. So the chorus comes in. I've overdubbed the Nashville guitar and an acoustic guitar. Let's check those out. So here they come. So those are just, yeah, those are just to make it kick off in the chorus basically, but they're nice. I mean, I always like a Nashville. And then I have this piano riff which I came up with, which is played on my slightly out of tune upright and a Casio, and I found a nice Casio sound which I felt blended very well with the piano. So there's this riff which comes in the chorus. Bit of headphone bleed. So if I put that all together as an instrumental now. So there you go. Hello, Darren in Alaska. Good morning to you. Yeah, thanks for watching. So, it's actually a pretty simple song. So there is that basic thing there. We'll get to the solo in a minute. There's strings as well, but I think for me, like personally, artistically speaking, what I like about this song is the vocal, because I don't know how, but I ended up doing this kind of rap type thing, whatever you want to call it, spoken word, like a poem thing, halfway through. I think that's probably because, like I said earlier, I just always want to cram in as much as I can into songs, and it was just bugging the hell out of me to do a song where it was just the same chords all the way through, and verse, chorus, and I just thought I should really change this up. Halfway through, it should suddenly go onto a different planet somehow, and yeah, and that would be interesting, and I think it works. So I had these verses. I mean, this is basically just me standing here with the MD21, the little gold mic that I sometimes use, Sennheiser MD21.
Another day in Robbie's head.
Again, you can hear mic bleed, headphone
Might
bleed.
sound okay, but it eats me instead. I know I half wrote this before, but it's true.
A bit of Decapitator on there.
Me is self-indulgent, but it's all I know
Compression
how to do.
and a bit of soothe. It's often often the thing when you're recording on your own, especially if you're really trying to focus on the kind of writing as you go, and discovering the song as you go. Often you might take a few shortcuts with the actual spending the time on getting the sounds to be really optimum, you know. I mean, not always, but sometimes that's how it works out. And on this song, when I was doing the vocals, I was really just thinking more about, okay, I'm writing the vocal part here, I'm experimenting, and I'll fix the vocal sound later. I don't really care about this being a kind of beautiful vocal sound on this song. I want it to be kind of rough and sort of pained, I guess, something like that. Anyway, then we get then later on I just started kind of writing as I was recording with all this stuff.
So inspired by people around me, like Annie's tunes, but feel like everything I have to offer. There's a lot of bad bacteria in here. Makes it hard to write words, as you can hear. So I just type them out on laptop dumb. Every pixel, delete, type, delete until it's done. Wishing I was using ink and paper so it would have gravitas.
Anyway, you get the idea. So yeah, I was just writing that as I went along, as I was recording it, and then I started moving it around a little bit until it started making sense. Same with this thing at the end. And then I had Iris come in, Iris Roman, amazing singer from Holland, living in Berlin. Check her stuff out, she's great. And I had her sing the chorus stuff, BV.
Selling the cover, pages are painted black. Lonely a lover, wonderful life I've had.
Not being sarcastic, I've had it luckier than most, I know. Still the scissors need paper, and there's never enough, no there's never enough.
So yeah, you can hear that my vocal definitely is a little ropey, and I spent a long time trying to fix all of that, as you can see. It's a real rainbow comp going on there. Hello Sue Hurting 308. Good to hear from you. What do you need help with? Let me know. Maybe I can help you. And then, so then anyway, I sat on it for a while after that. And then we came and did, Knox came back to the studio and we did a middle eight guitar solo and Casio thing, which goes like this.
The British Library.
And I believe that effect there is from this AMS RMX 16 impulse response on Altiverb, which we've got full mix. We've got full mix going on there, so we're basically hearing full reverb on his guitar, and it's like a kind of reverse, sort of fake reverse type thing. And it's also going through this Echo Boy and a decapitator and a soothe, all kinds of stuff to kind of give it this like otherworldly thing, which I think sounds really cool. And then on top of that, I've got my little Casio solo, which is just got like a tape emulator on it, a bit of compression, probably just a bottom end cut. There we go. So that's 3 layers of Casio, all being bussed together into here, all being treated together so it kind of squashes them up. And that's that. And then I think the last touch really was the strings, which as usual, for at least for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been working with the Oriole Quartet. Well, specifically Anna and Alice from the Oriole Quartet, violin and cello, and they're just great. And this is what they did on my song. It was, I think I just said to them, here are the chords, and I just want to do like 2 passes straight through and just drone and bend and just make a kind of weird, uncomfortable tension throughout the whole song. I just had a feeling that would be what I wanted, and this is what they came up with, which I love. And you can see down here, I'm kind of riding the volume, so it's all being bussed together into this bus, and then I'm kind of riding it with a fader. So you get the idea of what those guys were doing, which, I mean, you don't really notice it on the finished track, but maybe you will now if you listen again after watching this. It's it really adds a a super cool tension throughout the whole song. It just makes the whole thing feel really, yeah, like desperate, which is what it is really. So then that was basically it. I think the last thing I did, the last touch I did, was just my old favourite tambourine at the end here. You know what a tambourine sounds like. So yeah, that's basically it. What have we got going on stuff? I mean, it's very simple mix. There's a few plugins going on, but like I said, the drums are there, the bass, I went through that. Knox's original guitar, just reverbs, the acoustic guitars, my old favourite. This wow control plugin, just a slight tapey kind of pitch vibrato. Reverbs for this. We have Little Plate, Sound Toys. We have the Valhalla Room, and that's it. And then an Echo Boy for the vocal and some other stuff. Like I said, everything was going through the desk. So everything's subgrouped down to these groups here, which are hidden behind the little screen there. But yeah, and then on one of them I had a tape plug in. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much me. Sorry if that wasn't more in depth. I don't know what anyone else would want to see. Sue Hurting is asking the same. Hey, Bridge. How are you, man? Well, I'll catch up with you afterwards. But yeah, if anyone has any more questions about this, then now's the time to ask, because I'm going to go and buy a pizza for Elsa and Vincent and go and watch a film. But you too, Bridge. Well, this has all been in aid of my new single, which is out today, Left Hand Man. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you feel like it. I'd very much appreciate it. The links are all in there somewhere. Go to my website, buy the single. There's a bonus track on there, which has it's basically one of the live tracks that we did for the album, the basic tracks, which I didn't end up using it really on the album. I used the song. I kind of made an edit between the demo that I made and bits of the live thing, but it sounds completely different. So if you buy it from the website, then you get that as well, and I really like it. It sounds really cool, but it's different to the thing on the album. And when the album comes out, then you can guess which song it actually became in the end. And there's also a handwritten lyric sheet thing as part of the deluxe package on my website, which yeah, I thought that was kind of nice, considering in the lyrics I talk about doing the lyrics on the laptop on this song. Anyway, wishing I was using ink and paper. So lots of love to you all. Look after each other. Looks like we're going to be stuck in our little bubbles for a while yet. So we've got to stay positive, stay creative. Yeah. Lots of love to you, and I'll see you soon.